Feel like John Moran, need a triple double. Told him check the stats, yeah, I got a couple. I don't draw the ball.
I never thought it would happen to me. I've dealt with broken bones. I've dealt with ankle sprains. I've seen it all. I've dealt with it all. But an Achilles tear, the most feared injury in all of sports, that's something I was not prepared for. And it changed my life forever. Join me on my journey as I share how I faced and triumphed over this notorious injury. It's known to be agonizing. The recovery process is known to be difficult, unforgiving. It's a journey. It's impacted the lives of many of your favorite athletes, my favorite athletes. But I can't wait to reveal the secrets that helped me overcome this life-changing injury. And if you're watching this video, chances are you've had an Achilles tear, or you're recovering from one, or you got curious after watching clips of Kevin Durant, Klay Thompson, or another one of your favorite athletes, and now your OCD is killing you to find out more. But don't worry, I've got your back. As a physical therapist with extensive experience in sports medicine, a massive sports fan, an athlete myself, but most importantly, as someone who's been through a full thickness Achilles tear, because no one really else can understand how this feels other than someone who's going through it. And I'm here to guide you through this epic journey. I've intentionally waited until I personally have completed at least 6 months of my own post-op Achilles recovery before making this video. Throughout my healing process, I've seen many videos where people share things they wish they knew before. I want to do that too, but I wanted to go beyond that, and I wanted to provide a physical therapist perspective on returning to sport. My ultimate goal is to guide you through this process so you don't have to deal with the annoying mistakes that I made. But hold up, before we get into the video, don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Join the tribe. Now, today's video is going to be specifically on mindset. And I'll be honest with you, nothing I share with you throughout this whole journey, nothing is going to be as important as this. This is single-handedly the most important thing you need to develop on this journey. This injury, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. I still remember 6 months ago when I was trying to stand up again for the first time after my surgery, when my anesthesia had worn off. I knew all the post-op instructions. I've instructed people hundreds of times on my own rotation, my PT rotations years ago. Crutches, edge of the bed, push off, the list goes on. Nothing could have prepared me for that moment when I tried standing up for the first time in front of my younger brother. He's been to all my games. He was cheering me on from the stands. And now he witnessed me fall down, right back down on my first try getting up from a hospital bed. I never felt so embarrassed and defeated. But then I had to do something all of you are going to do, and all of you are going to get very used to doing. I kept trying until I got up. Now, one thing I'll be talking a lot about on my channel is mental resilience. And one of the brightest sides of this injury is you have no choice but to develop it. This recovery, it's going to show you aspects of yourself you wished you never had to see, and also things you never knew you were capable of. But developing the mindset of someone who will defeat this versus being a victim, it doesn't come automatically. It's going to take some serious internal work. Lucky for you, you ain't going to be moving too much. So you got all the time in the world to train your mind to become a beast. The good news, when you are finally recovering again, you're going to be tackling life with a whole new skill set. Now, if you do this right, things won't be a big deal for you anymore. Hard things in life, whether it's going through rejection, going through stress, or other life events, they won't seem as intense anymore. You might even laugh at some of these things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you 3 tips on how you can come out of this injury, this recovery process, on top. Let's go. Step 1. You need to control your thoughts. Yes, you have heard it from everyone, everywhere nowadays. Mindfulness is the new it thing. But even though you know about it, you're probably not doing it, are you? And if you are doing it, you're probably not doing it right or in the most effective way. And let's say you're one of the few who are doing it consistently and right, you have a whole new challenge and circumstance to do it under. Now, for the first 2 weeks after this injury, you're going to be extremely limited in what you're able to do. Most people will use this time to drown themselves in entertainment or to allow themselves to be consumed by thoughts. Now, don't get me wrong, you've deserved a little bit of a break and you should have some Netflix binge sessions. Hell, some of you won't even have that luxury and you'll still have to work from home or study. During my first 2 weeks, I was extremely busy. I was studying, I had work, and I was building a business. I had no time whatsoever. But here's the thing, you are literally allowing yourself to lose some of the most precious opportunities that you have in front of you to train that mental resilience muscle that you probably won't get again. So here's what I want you to do. Every morning, start with 20 minutes on your timer and literally focus on one thing. Whether it's your breath or whatever it is, you focus on one thing. And whenever your attention diverts, you bring it back. You live in the moment. Now, will these 20 minutes do much? Probably not in the short term. What they will do is get you in the mindset to put this skill to use throughout the day. So every time your mind wanders, thinking how you could have gotten injuries so severe playing something like pickleball, seriously, for those of you who got to playing pickleball, you have a chance to train your mental strength and focus back on the present. Every time you wonder if you'll be that person who re-ruptures their Achilles because your luck is that bad, you bring yourself back to the present. Every time you stress about anything in this period, you bring yourself back to the present. See, you can train your body whenever you want in the weight room. You see some weights, you lift them, and you give your body some time to recover, and you grow. But with mental strength, these opportunities, they come when they come. So make the most of this time you have in front of you and let this injury be the best thing that's ever happened to your life. Because a healthy mindset leads to a great life. Okay, step 2. Now, the second most important step in developing the mindset you need to get through this is putting yourself in a position of gratitude. This is probably going to be super hard to do right now, but it's also essential. You are literally going to have to go out of your way to think of positive thoughts and bright sides. But if you don't do this, you will be stuck and probably stay stuck. So think of mindfulness as strength training and gratitude or forcing yourself to remain positive when negative thoughts come up as powerlifting. Now, I remember when negative thoughts had come into my mind, I had to fight them with at least 3 bright sides. The benefit is when you do this, you naturally start thinking this way. You start changing your programming. So I'm going to give you an example. Let's say one negative thought that crossed my mind. I can't play competitive basketball for a year. Okay, bright side. Let's think about this. Okay, I'll take this opportunity to develop my jump shot. I can finally master my left-handed handles. And I'm going to come back with much more strength since I can't do cardio right now. Okay, step 3. The third step you'll need to develop your mindset for this injury is using your imagination. Hear me out. So I learned some NLP, which stands for neuro-linguistic programming techniques, while I was going through this. And in terms of optimism, this was the most important thing for me to have a more positive outlook on the future. Now, many people will argue that thoughts impact emotions. Others argue that emotions impact thoughts. I believe that it doesn't really matter. Why not try to work on both? Now, I learned this trick from one of my mentors, Star Jesse Taylor. By the way, check out our podcast episode. The link is in the description. But Star, he taught me if you want to achieve something, or if there's a particular situation you're in and you want a way out or you want a particular solution, then what you do is imagine telling someone you are close to about this. And whatever the situation is, you imagine that success and you keep telling someone that you're close to about this in your imagination. And you keep doing this as long as it feels good. And it may sound weird that my advice involves mindset changes before I even start talking about rehab, but the truth is that's because I truly believe this is the most important part of your recovery. And I'm not saying that lightly. Whether you opted for surgery or did not, and we'll talk about that in a future episode, whichever route you took, you do not have full control over how your body heals. The only thing you have control over right now is how you respond to this adversity and to this injury. Respond well, and your whole life can change. Because life isn't what happens to us. Life is how we respond to what happens to us.